Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Okay, I'm out on this crazy patio in downtown Houston. I don't know how much of this you can see because the lighting doesn't get great as I turn around, but it's pretty cool up here. And the neat part about this is because this is outside up on, I think, the 29th floor, you've got wind that's blowing and it feels kind of cool because it's just different in a way. But wind has got this power to it. I mean, think about wind for a minute. You don't really see it. You can see results of it. You can see it as it affects limbs or leaves, or it might blow your hair, or it might blow your, whatever, it'll blow on your clothes. The wind will have an effect you can see, but you don't see the wind. It's kind of like breath. Unless you see the condensation when it's cold outside, you don't see the breath that you're doing. And I think that may be some of the reason why both in Greek, ancient Greek, and in ancient Hebrew, that word for wind is the same word that's used for breath. It is the same word used for the Spirit of God. When it says in Genesis that the Spirit of God moved over the face of the deep, it speaks of God's wind, God's movement in spirit, an unseen aspect of God moving on the wind, and yet, even though, on the face of the earth, and yet, even though unseen, having an effect. The same word is used in Genesis, and the Hebrew word, ruach is that Hebrew word. The same word is used when God breathes into Adam and Eve and gives them the breath of life. They become a living being when they receive the Spirit or the breath of God. And it's so again, it's something that gives them breath. It's something that gives them life, where you see the results of God's Spirit or wind moving, and yet you don't actually see the spirit of the wind. In the Greek, which we read in the New Testament or in the Greek version of the Old Testament, you have that same wind, except it's pneuma is the word. We get pneumonia from it, which is a disease of the lungs, the breathing apparatus. But that word for spirit or breath, pneuma in the Greek, and that's why Paul would write that the Spirit of God moves where it will, and no one understands pneuma things except the pneuma of God. No one understands spiritual things except the Spirit of God. So I'm up here in the wind, and I'm reminded in Hebrew and Greek of God's Spirit, which, like the wind, you don't see, but you see the result of it. You see the effect. And Paul says it this way. He says you'll see fruit of the Spirit. You'll see what grows out of the Spirit, even if you don't see the Spirit. And he says the Spirit in you can grow love and joy and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, I think I left out, and self-control. All good things I want in my life. So as I stand here out on this windy balcony looking down on this beautiful city, I'm reminded of the incredible effect the wind of God can have in my life if I let it. And so it is my prayer, God, that your Spirit will work in me today to grow your fruit and to do your works, your unseen spirit or wind. And I hope that's your prayer too as we pull into this weekend, because this is your video thought for the day.